Back with another edition of the Down and Back Cornhole podcast, and I would not have anyone else be the first show of the third season than this man right here to my, I guess my left here, your right, whatever, Mr. Timothy Pitcher. Timothy, how you doing?
Doing well, man. How about yourself?
Not too bad. It's been a while. I look back. It's been like a year and a half, like February 2021 since you've been on. So it was time.
Yeah, I've been grinding, man, getting myself back together.
Well, I'd say, it's been that long since you've been on the show, but we've been communicating back and forth as always. Like we kind of check in every once in a while on each other to see how we're doing, and glad to have you back.
Yeah, I'm excited. Like first Open this weekend, going down to Rock Hill, make it through the hurricane.
I mean, I'm thinking if anyone's going to do it, it's going to be you.
Oh yeah, we're bringing the storm to Rock Hill.
So, like I said, it's been a year and a half. So, what have you been up
to? Attacking the Open standings. I was definitely trying to make back pro with being in top 24, but it didn't work out that well. So, I've been preparing myself for the qualifier and all of that stuff and getting ready for the season.
Exactly. Yeah, we've been talking. You were talking when you were throwing bags. You got a bunch of guys there helping you practice there now that you're probably beating up on like you would have been with me. But yeah. So it's that grind to try and get back to where you have been.
Yeah. It's been filled with up and downs. Like November, I picked up a local guy that had just started playing probably towards the end of the year last season, the season before. And, it took a while to get some chemistry and, help him along to get him where he needed to be for us to be successful. But we put together a decent season. Bunch of top 5 regional finishes in doubles and top 10 open finishes in doubles. So, and his name is Juwan Smith. You'll hear about him coming up soon. But yeah, we put together a pretty decent season for his first ACL season.
Exactly. So, yeah, and then you head down to Rock Hill, down to the finals to get back onto the real big stage there, and you performed not too bad there as well.
Yeah, started out with the team event. We had a decent team, but it's kind of just getting our feet back wet, and then we went to the blind draw the next day. I finished second in my bracket in that. Then doubles the next day after that. Second in my bracket in doubles, and then singles after that. Second in my bracket in singles. So it went pretty good. The qualifier, I felt like my 2015-16 self. I was hitting every shot I wanted to take and was on the leaderboard for the first group in the morning with point differential and PPR, and sat around for 5 hours and locked up, man. It was tough to get back up and get going like I was rolling. And especially how good I was throwing in the morning. Like anything less was going to be a disappointment. It was just hard to get back to that.
Well, that's what we talk about. There's that grind that we all complain about how cornhole goes full day and you're throwing for a full day and you're complaining about that. But then if you get that break in between, that couple hour break in between, you're then complaining because you have to try and get going again. And I think that's what you ran into there.
Yeah, definitely. I have back issues and stuff like that, and it definitely showed up at the wrong time. The whole year trying to get back, and it was a physical thing more than mental or just not playing well.
But then you do get in. I think it was the application process, was it that you got accepted there?
Yeah, got accepted with the application process. I took my time this year instead of like I did last year, kind of rushed through it. But I had the resume. The resume was there. So just going back, listing out all the accomplishments from the year was like pretty eye opening as far as what it took to get back.
Looks like because you can talk about your accomplishments, but then once you have to put them down in paper and actually see what you did, you kind of have to look back and say, oh man, you know what, I wasn't all that bad.
Not at all. I mean, my first Open back in Virginia Beach this past season. I'm up in my first game in singles, 17-0, and the guy came back and beat me. And then I ran I had 8-9 games in a row, and I didn't even realize that I was in the finals of the bracket. I mean, I lost big time, but I was emotionally spent by then. Just realizing all at once, I go outside, look at the bracket. I was like, dang, I'm in the finals. It kind of all hit me, the journey to get back there and all of that stuff. So when I went into the game, dude, I had nothing left. Duncan Clemmer put it on me.
I think he kind of did that on a lot of people last year.
I mean, it's all right. I mean, I would have loved to play better, but it is what it is. I mean, I definitely went above and beyond my expectations.
Well, I was down in North Carolina there last May, and I was in a tournament with Clemmer. I didn't. Luckily, I didn't have to play against him because it probably would have looked even worse than the beating he put on you. But it's just for me, just seeing those guys again, and just the big players. You feed off of that energy, and I think that's probably what happened to you when you're coming back and trying to fight back. They say that the steel on steel, iron on iron, or whatever, but that's kind of what you need.
Absolutely. I mean, the guys I have here right now, are a big part of the reason. I mean, my old partner from 2 years ago, Lesson's here. My partner going into the season, Mike Hoffman's here, and a couple of cats that are local cats that are going to be making some noise in the future. They're here. I'm trying to help them along. To make it a little easier, dropping knowledge and showing them stuff like that. I mean, it's all part of it for me.
Well, I think you talk about those two people being your partners, but I think you've had a lot of great partners in the past that it's just kind of, I don't know if it's just great players kind of seem to gravitate towards you because you are that personality. That's what I got. We talked before off air about our first meeting way back on that balcony, but just that personality that you have, that just people just gravitate to that.
Believe it or not, Doug, I've had 5 partners. I mean, of course you play random tournaments here, but consistent partners, I think I've had 5. And the 5th one is just coming up this year. We haven't even played together yet, but 5 steady partners since I've been playing cornhole. And that's about 10 years worth of cornhole. I mean, a lot of people can't say that, but EJ Parker 5 years ago, that's when we met. Gary Lapierre was my first partner. We played for 6 months, and then Leston, Jawan this past year, and then now Mike. So I mean, it's good to get that chemistry and stuff going, to just go into a season and kind of not even have to communicate verbally, but having good chemistry definitely is a big part of having a good doubles team.
Well, I think that leads into the perfect question that I have arguments with the people up here all the time is, do you prefer that? I think I'm going to know your answer, but do you prefer that team with the chemistry where you actually know the person, or do you want that super team where it's those 2 top players are coming together to join the team? I always feel you need that chemistry because you need to have that almost inner confidence with the person that you're throwing the other end of the board than just having another great player.
So yeah, I mean, you can see different examples in cornhole, on the big stage, of how sometimes super teams aren't going to ever work out because you both have different mindsets or directions of how things should go. Some super teams that were formed over the years, and who we're talking about, it's instant, but kind of personality matches to begin with. I like building it, so that's 3-4 points per game for me, just being able to look down at your partner and know what they're going to do, and vice versa. So I mean, sometimes it works with the super teams and stuff like that, but I think overall you definitely need that chemistry.
Yeah, because that then leads to if you happen to do make that bad shot or whatever, if you have that part that you have that chemistry with that you've been with for the long haul, we'll say, they know that that the whole got your back thing. I think that really comes into play right there because you're not thinking, oh, is this guy going to be pissed off at me? Because
Right.
you have that inner chemistry.
Right. Well, I mean, most people know what I'm going to do regardless of the situation. If you have to tell me, it kind of messes up my rhythm. If I look at you in your eyes and you already know what I'm going to do, like that works out better for me as far as just being confident and throwing what I want, what's necessary to be thrown.
Oh, for sure, and that's one thing I kind of like that. It's when I watch you play, you kind of know. I don't want to say we know what you're going to do, but we know that you're going to go for it all the time. That it's not really you're never going to be the one to lay up and just kind of go for that one. You're going to go for it.
No, I was taught when I played basketball to leave the clip empty, regardless of how it's going. Go out shooting. That's how I play, but I mean, there's going to be situations with my new partner this year. He's going to want to kick me in my ass, but
but yeah, that's the thing though. Is it's sometimes you just have to go for it.
Yeah, well, just mentioning that got me a get out of jail free card for one time at least.
Well, and the thing that's really stuck with me since you said it many shows ago was the whole checkers and chess thing for cornhole, because that's come up with people playing cornhole up here, because we've had our cornhole Newfoundland people come down for the Open, and they got their first chance of seeing people other than just in their league.
Right.
So they were, and I've talked to them, and not to give a spoiler for them, but I'll be coming out there to help them with some stuff very, very soon. But they're into a game where they're just slide it in. There's no real chess kind of thing. No blocker put up. No going for the airmail. It's just a sliding game, and that can be good. But when they got on that big stage, they're not used to that messy board.
Right. I mean, I guarantee you, a lot of those players that you're speaking about probably just started playing the last couple of years.
Yep.
Like me and the core group of guys that started playing down here when, like 2012, 13, 14, like we had the big bulky ACO 450s, slide rights and stuff like that. I mean, even if you wanted to go in the hole, the bag wouldn't let you, so the board was messy. So you had to learn how to get around that, get over that, all of that stuff. So without that knowledge, and the bags have changed everything. With fast bags, like a person 3-4 months in can come out and dominate people that don't understand that side of the game as far as blocking and manipulating board situations. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Don't get me wrong. If you can slide them in all day, do your thing. But it's going to be the player that comes up and sticks a bag in front of the hole and is going to look at you and say, what you going to do now? And if you don't have anything to do, if you don't have anything in your toolbox to deal with it, like, what are you going to do?
Mm-hmm. So I guess for them, because they don't really know a lot of the practice stuff, how would you practice trying to get around bags, or what do you do to practice other than just playing against other top players?
That's tough. Like, I airmail only in practice. I want to get that locked in. So there's nothing going to keep me from going in the hole. That's what, that's my mindset from by that. But, with the cut shot, the curve shot, the roll shot, and all of that stuff, I've been implementing the cut shot in my game for about 5 years now. I'm just starting to mess around with the roll bag and all of that stuff. But, I mean, whatever you want to work on, whatever you think is, something lacking in your game, you just got to put the time in. I mean, there's no particular way to go about it. Just do it. I mean, you've always see a situation where, there's a blocker, you try to slide and it kicks off to the left or right. Well, those situations should dictate how you practice. You put that bag up there and figure it out. I mean, it's game time situation dictates how you practice and what you need to work on.
Yeah, like up here, we kind of, for a bit, we were calling it cornhole Jenga, where we put 3 sets of 4 bags, stacked them 4 high, anywhere on the board, and you're still playing a regular game, but you got points count against you if you knocked one of those other bags off the tower or whatever.
Right.
And you're still kind of trying to cut around them, airmail over top of these your bags. But it really gets you thinking about how you can maybe bounce off a bag or curl around a bag.
Right. It just takes time. We gotta, you gotta definitely put that situation on the practice board and figure it out. I mean, you're not going to be successful right away, and that's the thing. Like, a lot of people think that just because I can slide a bag, I can do anything else. Given the situation, well, they're not taking in account like the stressful moment in a real life game, or compared to I'm just in my barn or outside throwing bags and something might happen. But if you don't apply that, this is going to be a pressure situation when I'm doing this game time. Like, that's a whole nother element of a specialty shot or a particular shot that's going to help you get above and beyond your opponent.
I know. I've kind of in some of my practices, I've kind of taken on, to get another basketball analogy, would be like a Steve Nash approach, where I'll go with, when I'm practicing, I'll go and I won't stop until I make, if I put 100 block shots up there where I want to have it on the board.
Right.
Because he would, in practice, he said how his coach or whatever when he was younger would, like, you can't leave the practice court till you make 100 shots.
Right.
So I'll go and do, like, I got to put 100 blockers in. Then there's times when I'll say I have to do 100 airmails. It takes me about 4 hours, but hey, I'm still going to get them in, right? But it's just trying to take that practice mentality of other sports, because we've talked about it before, your other sport mentality, bringing that to cornhole.
Yeah, I mean, most of us cornhole players have played other sports growing up. That's probably the reason why we play, because we're too old and rickety to keep playing those sports, and this is how we can get our competitive spirit out. But I mean, if you're not implementing any of that type of mindset from sports that you played as a kid, or into your 20s or whatever, to the game, I mean, I think you're doing it wrong. I mean, because it all applies across the board. It's competition. Trying to get a leg up. Some people cheat. It ain't cheating until you get caught. Whatever you got to do, get a leg up.
Well, sorry about that. Exactly. Yeah. It's that, I say, as frustrating as for me, that's what brings the fun back into my game, even though I still haven't got the full game back yet. But it's
that's your problem there, Doug. Stop reinforcing negativity.
Yeah. Well, I've got the PPR up. I'm almost 70 deck rounds now, which for me a couple months ago was 40. So bringing it back up again.
Good. That's good.
So
are they going to have another open up there this year?
I've heard yes. I've heard there's possibility of maybe 2. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, I got to go work on my passport then.
And then you can come up and kick my ass. I'll let you.
Yeah.
But it's and I would and that's the thing with you bringing you up here. I can then, because there's some other people that have met you. Bernie Portalessi got to meet you down in at one of the opens, and he sends me messages like, "Jeremy Pitcher, he's like such a great guy. He's easy talking to." I was like, "The hell, do you not listen to me? Do you not do you think I'm lying when I say that he's one of the greatest guys?" And then like we talked off here, Bobby Pearson Sr. was up here for the open, and just talk glowingly of you as well too. That you help people, and that's what we need up here, is someone like yourself to come and kind of not only take someone under the wing, but just people to talk to, just kind of get some tips or pointers, or just kind of even to talk with.
Right. Well, I mean, I tried to explain this to some people like 5, 6 years ago, 6, 7 years ago, maybe. It's like, it takes one person from your area to get outside of the group, to go experience and all that stuff, but be willing to bring it back and pass it along. I mean, there's going to be some guys that up that way that are going to do that, but it's got to be the willingness to pass along what they've learned and not be, a particular name about it.
Yeah.
Some guys, once they get to a certain status, they don't want to give it up. They don't want to pass that stuff along, because they got to battle those people that they're passing the stuff along to. I don't care. They're going to beat me one of these days anyway. It just gives me ammunition to come back and beat them like I was beating them before. I just looked over at Lesson.
I'm guessing. But that's the thing, though. Like up here, we got the Open. Jimmy McGuffin was up here. Lori Duell was up here. It's just great people. Even Jordan Power. People got to see his demeanor away from the court or off camera. That he's sit down and talk to them, because that's how all of you pros are. Just sit down and you guys will just talk with anyone cornhole and just help people out.
I love doing it, man. It's one of those things. Like, there were two particular people in, I think it was like 2014 or 15. I'm starting to climb up the ranks, and I asked two particular guys what I could do to get better, and they kind of gave me the scram, get out of here answer, because they saw the potential. They didn't want to help. So I like from there, I was like, nah, I'm not going to be that type of person. I'm not going to mention any names because I really like these two guys, but yeah, they hit me with the, oh, just put them in the hole, guy. Get out of here. So no, I mean, I try to give as much as I possibly can to the people that I'm around, because I mean, eventually those same people are going to be making me better. When I lose, a little bit of passion for it, and and then I can see their passion, and then it just keeps you coming back.
Exactly. Well, I got to ask you this here question, because I teased it last week when I said you were coming on. Bag choice. We know you were one kind of bag, one type of bag before. What are you coming back throwing this year?
Well, they made the announcement last week. I'm going with Gladiator Cornhole. Couple of my peoples, play for Gladiator. Lesson, Adrian, so Gladiator Cornhole. And I haven't decided which bag from their lineup yet, because they have 3,426 different bags. But I'm working on a few sets tonight. I should be getting some tomorrow. Trying to make a decision before Rock Hills Open this weekend. So yeah, Gladiator Cornhole. Easy to work with. They communicate well. So it was kind of a no-brainer for me.
So you're doing what I tell everyone else to do, is you got to be like Goldilocks, try them all until you get the one that you want.
Right. So I mean, I was kind of in the 8.6 range as far as speed of bags. So like I spent most of last year throwing in singles, throwing ultra. Well, I was throwing the Viper C's, and then me and my partner, when we play doubles, we play with cornhole scenario bags. So like, I wanted something comparable as far as speed and feel. So I got a few sets that I'm working with right now that are close. But I'm confident, I can fill a Ziploc bag up with sand and throw that.
Well, you know what? I'm wishing you all the luck. And when you talk to Adrian, I've been wanting to get him on the show for a while now, so maybe you can put in a good word.
It's going to cost you, man. It's going to cost you. If you want me to get people to come on this show, it's going to cost like $35 or something like that.
I will try that when we meet again.
It's cool. Yeah, I'll talk to him.
So you got any other sponsors that are going to be on the jersey this year?
Just some local friends and family type stuff. Wanted to give them more of an opportunity to be put out there. Gladiators taking care of us pretty good, so just giving some local people a chance to shine a little bit right along with me. So yeah, I'll make that announcement, I think, once I get the ink to dry on everything. There's a couple in limbo right now, so just finalizing small details with that.
Well, for everyone that's watching, if you guys just buy a few more T-shirts, I will get the down and back on Timothy's jersey for sure, because if there's one guy I want, it's going to be you.
Right.
But just
all right. My partner for the season is going to sit in here for quick questions
and answers
if you're cool with that.
Oh, I'm totally cool with that.
Come on, Mike.
All right. See me over here?
Hey. I can see. Yeah. So do we get the real dish on Timothy now? Now that he's pardon.
Wait till he goes to the bathroom. He talks a lot.
Oh well, yeah. Like I said, I got to meet him for the first time in 2018. Yeah, with down in Cherokee, and just that balcony in Cherokee at the center there was just the infamous balcony. Just him and I just talking, and all of a sudden it's like we knew each other forever.
That's awesome. That was the first big ACL event I went to as well. I remember that one. That was a lot of fun. They had at that time they had like a play-in game to get into maybe the final 128 or final 64 of the singles. It was a lot different then.
Exactly. So as Timothy said, you guys have known each other for a while. I got to see that on Facebook. So what's your background in cornhole?
Yeah, no, similar to Tim, he's probably started playing around the same time, like 2013 or so. Just like he said about playing other sports. Back then I was playing basketball and I blew out my knee and, I stopped doing that. And then just picked up cornhole. Like I went to a place where we were playing washers, if you know what that is.
Yep.
And cornhole. And it was the first time I ever saw either one of them. And I actually liked washers better, but nobody ever played washers. So just started playing cornhole and ended up meeting Timmy. I live about 30 minutes from him. Probably close to 10 years ago. Just at a cornhole tournament. And he was always, one of the guys to beat for sure. He always, he talks about always having partners. He always had good partners too. So they were always a tough team.
Well, exactly, yeah, because I said he's always. I don't know if it's just his personality, but just all the great people just gravitate to him.
Yeah, no, he's a good player too. He's always been like top around here, especially better than Leston.
Just watch him at any event. You know that if he's there, he's gonna be near the final.
Yep.
I'm
So I'm sorry, these guys are talking too loud over here. They don't like what I'm saying.
It's all good.
But last year I played in the pro division with Dayton Weber. So like that's how people who I've met before. Like I'm the guy that throws him back to Dayton. So because everybody knows who he is.
Well, your game is the same as mine. I just throw them back to my partner.
Exactly.
Timothy knows just how he's seen me play. He's given me crap a lot of time for my game, but yeah.
It's real easy to take a back seat there, and same with Timmy. He's pretty well known, around the ACL. So I think it's going to be a good, pretty good partnership for us this year. And unfortunately for Dayton, he's doing the PDC. So Timmy, without a partner, myself without a partner, first phone call each one of us made. So I think we're kind of excited for this year.
Well, I think that's kind of where the pro part. And now I asked him about this. Now I'll ask you about this. For your doubles partner, do you think it's better to have someone like him where you've known him for a while, you've got the chemistry, you know it, or would you rather have been like the two big names as a super team? I've always felt like you need that chemistry. Yeah,
no, chemistry is really important, but I'm not going to lie. If like Noah Wooten called me up, I might think about it. But no, definitely. What's really important for me, aside from either one of those, but and this works with Timmy, like he checks his boxes, just having somebody supportive, because you're going to screw up. And would always, you get a guy that, hangs his head or acts mad, or makes 15 excuses of why he was so great and why you were terrible at the end of the game. That's not fun playing with somebody like that. So I know what I got, playing with Timmy, and, that, it's going to work out really well.
Well, exactly. Well, we're coming up on the half hour. I want to have you back on the show here sometime. So we'll hook up on Facebook and have you have your own show. And for anyone,
it was great meeting you. Thank you for taking a few minutes with me.
Well, exactly. And Timothy's talked to me about you. And for anyone here in Canada watching, just because he's wearing a Royal shirt, we're still going to forget about 85.
I went to Wichita. I'm not a Kansas City fan, so we can. Forget that part. But hey, nice to meet y'all. Get back to Timmy. Take care.
Okay.
All right, man.
We got all the dirt on you now. That's from Mike, and there's none.
There's way more dirt. But we'll save that for a late night show.
Sure, for sure. We'll do that there.
Cornhole drama with down and back.
Oh, trust me, we got
Oh, yeah.
drama to deal with.
Cornhole's filled with it.
Yes, yeah. So, like I said, we're up on the half hour here. I want to thank you for coming on and
Nope.
for having Mike to come on. That's it's always fun talking cornhole with you, and I can't wait to have you come up here. Maybe we'll have you up here in a week. We'll do a traveling thing to a bunch of the leagues here and have you get to meet a lot of the people.
All right, brother. Sounds good.
So as always, we've got to have there's the new ending coming up. So I don't know. It's with DraftKings, you got to bet on pitcher because he'll make you richer.
Well, that sounds good to me. I just hope I can